Yeah, welcome to MSBA sessions from GoOnlineTrainings.com. So, BI is more demanding tool nowadays. We have business intelligence is getting popular in IT industry. So we have huge demand for IT industry, for MSBA developers or MSBA analysts. Okay, lots of companies now offering for BA. Is understand what is MSBA and the competitors for BA in this IT industry for us. Okay. So let us understand what is introduction to business intelligence and history of business intelligence and data warehouse and OLTP versus OLAP and what is BA and goals of BA and tools of BA. So this is the agenda for this session. So once this is over, we can jump to SSIS or RS. Okay. So now business intelligence BI introduced by analyst Dr. Howard Resner in 1981. Okay, so let us understand what is a business intelligence. Before understanding business intelligence, we have to understand what is the data warehouse also. Okay, so Dr. William Inman is the father of data warehouse, and Ralph Kimball he has introduced a model called dimension modeling in data warehouse. So data warehouse became so popular because of the dimension model. Understand what is a business intelligence. So let me give you a simple example to understand this. Now, if you take any company, the company can be X, the company can be Y, the company can be Z. So I have many companies. So I have a company here. The company is doing lots of business. So they have data in different places. Okay. Now if you take any company, so take ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank has data in many from many years. So let us start that they started the business in 2001. They have lots of customers since 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. They have lots of data, lots of customers. Now they're into share market, they're into loans, they're into selling gold coins, they're into giving two-wheeler loans, four-wheeler loans, education loans. They are into many things. Now every year or every quarter they should be doing some kind of analysis and how their business is moving. Now, to do the analysis, definitely they have to, see the data. They have to collect the data. After collecting data, they have to do the analysis. After analysis, what is that they have to do? They have to read and take a decision. So, if you ask me what is business intelligence means in simple terms, you should be able to collect data collect some data, and after collecting data you should be able to do what is known as a we have to do the analysis or you have to analyze the data. After analyzing the data you should be able to read or view the data. So reading the data is very important for us. Collecting the data and reading the data, collecting the data, analyzing the data, then reading or viewing the data. Now, the company has, data. So, first they have to collect all the data from different parts, so different places. Okay, and once they collect the data, what is it they have to do? They should be able to analyze the data properly. So once they analyze the data, they should be able to read and view the data. So collecting the data, analyzing the data, reading the data is known as business intelligence. So after reading and viewing, what is that I should do? After reading, you should be able to take a decision. So how is my business, doing, whether it is good or whether it is bad, and what are the important things I have to look into this. Okay. decisions you have to take. So why is that you have to take a decision to improve your business? You have to take the decisions after the. Okay. Now, many people will think about only the improving the business. So to improve the business, definitely you have to do the analysis of your data. So that's where the business intelligence comes into the picture. So collect the data of your business. After the collecting the data, what is that you have to do? You have to take a decision. So after taking the decision, that decision should improve your business is known as a business intelligence in simple words. For example, Hindustan Unilever, we have Hindustan Unilever, as you know, have many products in the market. So let us take Lux soap. So if you take the Lux soap, they have to do the analysis after selling is over. For example, in 2012, so what was the sales for Lux soap across India or across the globe? So wherever they have data in Hyderabad, they have data in Mysore, they have data in Bangalore, data in Punjab, Orissa, Bihar, Patna, Nepal. So wherever they have data, they have to first collect the data. They have to get the data from dealers. So dealers are the people who will sell the products to the customers. So they will note it down. From there, they have to collect the data. After collecting the data, they have to analyze it and they have to read and view. So if you say that in 2001 or 2002, the sales is, so let us understand, we're talking about only one soap. So you may have multiple soaps. So for example, they have soaps called Lux, they have soaps called Dove, and they have soaps called Lyric. Okay, they have many products. For them, they would like to do the analysis. Okay, now they would like to do analysis for 2010 and 2011 and 2012. So what is that they have to do? They have to first collect the data from different branches to do the analysis. For Lux Soap, they got 1 crore profit in 2010. In 2011, they got 1.5 crore profit after selling this. In 2012, they got 2 crore profit. So there is an improvement in the Lux. So let us think about it now. We have 2 crore of profit, and they have say 2 crore of profit, and there is a 2.1 crore of profit. Okay, so like that they have the business. So literally they have say 3 crore of profit, and they have 3 crore of uh, profit, and now they have 2 crore of profit. Okay, like that they have the profits. Now you can understand definitely Lux, there is a good improvement. So 1 crore the profit and 1.5 and 1 point this one. So there is a good improvement in this business. So there is no issue. But if you take Dow, 2 crore is to in 2010 and 2011 they have also 2 crore, but slightly they have increased in 2012. This is a improvement, but definitely they need to look into the what was the issue, why we are not able to to improve the business as expected. So if you take Liril, we had 3 crore, 2.5 crore, and we had only 2 crore of business. Definitely the business is not doing well at all for Liril. So what is that we should be able to do it? So that's where the business intelligence comes into an existence. So business intelligence will tell you this kind of reports for understanding their business. So to create this kind of a report, definitely they should be able to collect the data from different parts of the India or different parts of the globe. So after collecting, they should be able to analyze it. After analyzing it, they should be able to create such kind of reports to see how my sales was. Okay, so now you have for collecting data, you have what is a tool. The tool is called, we have SSIS here. For collecting data, there is a tool called SQL Server Integration Services. So this is the tool we normally use for collecting the data. Now For analyzing the data, we have SSAS tool, and for reading or viewing the data, we have a tool called SSRS tool. Okay, so MSBI gives you three tools. So MSBI gives you, the first tool called SSIS, the second tool called SSRS, then we have SSAS, SSIS, and SSAS and SSRS. These are the tools we have to understand. Now, what is MSP? Collect the data of a business domain and analyze the data and read and review the data. After reading the data, you should be able to take a decision. Now, why is that we are not getting good profit? What is that we should do? So immediately there are, they may talk to advertising people, or immediately they give the ads in TVs or papers for little. Or you may buy a little soap, one soap, and will give you 50% off. Or buy one soap, get one soap free. Or you buy a soap, you will get 1 gram gold coin free. So whatever the tricks they play, whatever the decisions they take, all is that to improve their business. But to take the decisions, first they have to see how is my sales happening across years. So they need to do comparison. So they need to do the comparison, and to do the comparison, they have to collect the data, read the data, analyzing the data. So all these things are very important for Hindustan Lever. Not only for Hindustan Lever, but also any business. If you're into business, you cannot simply sit and say that my business will uh, runs very smoothly. So each and every quarter, you should be able to collect the data. You should be able to, uh, analyze the data, and you should be able to compare the data in different forms. Okay. So for viewing, you have to create such kind of reports. A simple report where you're able to see the product data. Yes. Clear. So collecting the data, analyzing the data, reading or viewing the data in simple terms is known as a business intelligence. Okay. Now, so let us understand how is that a business intelligence can be used in our real-time example. And now, first challenge would be for any business is for collect the data. For example, if company says I have to take a decisions on my data, first you need to say we have to collect the data. For collecting data, there are many issues we'll get, or there are many challenges we can understand while collecting the data. Okay, challenges in collecting data. Let's understand what are the challenges we're going to have for collecting the data. First challenge would be the data may not be available in the single location. So that is the single first challenge you have to understand. For example, you take ICICI Bank or Hindustan Unilever or Airtel. If they wanted to analyze the data may not be available in the single place. So some data may be in Hyderabad, some data may be in Secunderabad, some data may be in Bhubaneswar, some data may be there in Delhi, some data they may be there in Redmond, US, Australia, Chicago. So wherever they have, okay, wherever the company have some sales, so the data may reside there. So the location is the problem for you, or the challenge for you to collect the data. I have the data, but not in a single location. I have the data in different locations. The second issue would be the data may not be available in single environment. What do you mean by that? For example, I have some data in Excel sheet. I have some data in RDBMS system like SQL Server, Oracle, DB2, Teradata. All these are the best examples for RDBMS systems. Okay, I have some data in XML. I have some data in flat files or the notepads. So the data, the environment where the data is available to me may not be the same. For example, so I have started business in 2001. 2001, I did not aware I had stored my data in legacy systems. Could be some XYZ platform where I had stored. Or talk about ICICI Bank when you report saying that, sir, I have lost my credit card or I need to get a credit card to any call center people, they may store the data in, say, Excel sheets, or they may use some XYZ applications to store the data. Okay, so some data may be there in Excel sheet, some data may be there in say Windows and using Excel sheet. Some data may be there in Java, some data may be there in .NET, or some data may be there in DB2, mainframe, SAP system. So the environment could be the second challenge for you to collect the data. The third thing is that the format of the data may not be, the standard format. Okay, for example, if you take Bangalore data, in the Bangalore they have collected first name, middle name, last name for the customer name. So they have separate columns, first name, last name, and middle name. But if you take Mumbai data, they have called a full name. So that data is sometimes split. The data is completely merged and stored as it is. So the format is, not a single format, for the existing data. Sometimes they have stored the profits in rupees or the price of the product in rupees. Sometimes they have, used US dollars or Singapore dollars or dinars or whatever it is. So the currency of the price is completely different from each and every country. If I have a Dow soap in Singapore, definitely they use Singapore dollars to tell the price of the product. So if you're collecting the data from the Singapore for analyzing the data across the globe, definitely you need to standardize the data and for analysis. Okay, so you have rupees, you have dollars, you have dinars. So all the data, if you want to collect and do the analysis, either you have to convert rupees into dollars or you need to convert dollars into rupees, because at the end of the day, you have to say this is our profit. So across countries. Okay, so if you have full name, middle name, last name, definitely you cannot have the different naming conventions. So either you convert the data from full name, middle name, last name to full name, or if you have full name, split the data into first name, last name, middle name. So like that. So sometimes what happens, you have a gender column. The gender column, sometimes you say, are you male? Say yes, no, male, female. Sometimes you may have true or false. So if we have for the gender column, different conventions they have followed to represent male or female. But end of the day, if you wanted to do the analysis, you cannot have a different format, sometimes true, sometimes false, and 0, 1, and male, female, MF, like that you cannot definitely have it. So you need to have the format on which the data is available to you for understanding for doing the analysis. Okay, the few challenges which we are going to understand is, location of the data may not be a single place for you. So the data is completely dispersed and it is available across locations. So geography is the problem for you or the challenge for you. The second thing, in the across geography, across globe, you have many environments. So could be Linux, could be Apple Macintosh, could be Solaris, could be Excel sheet, could be DB2, could be RDBMS. So we have plenty environments. Talking about IT environments. So could be Linux, could be Oracle, could be DB2, could be XML. The data may not be available in single location and single environment. The third one is the data is not available in single format. So that is also a issue for you. SSIS tool, SSIS tool will have the solutions for all these three issues for while collecting the data. Okay, so let us understand the new concept. So if any company would like to, do the analysis of the data, first they have to get the data from different locations. Okay, so all companies may not have data in a single place. We have to be very clear on it. So for example, I have uh, say Hindustan Lever data, ICICI Bank data. The initial data I have it in so Excel sheet, and I have some data in say RDBMS, say I have other data in Oracle. So this data may be in there in Delhi. Now this data I'm talking about This may be there in Patna of Bihar. Okay, and I have some more data in Mumbai. So this may be an XML format they have stored the data. So I have data in different places and different formats. So first is that I should be able to collect the data. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting the data from different places, and I should be able to integrate them. So to do that, I have a tool called SSIS tool. So normally SSIS tool is used to collect the data, to use the data in different parts of the places, and to make sure that all the data is collected and taken from many parts. Okay, so this is a known as ETL tool. So SSIS is what kind of tool it is, which is a purely ETL tool for you. ETL means extract the data, load the data into a data warehouse systems. So once you get the data from different places, you should be able to analyze the data. So for analyzing the data, they have to collect data from Excel, they have to collect the data from Oracle, and they have to collect the data from XML, or you may have data in Notepad also. The source can be anything. So SQL Server, so SSIS stands for SQL Server Integration Services. So this is used to collect the data from many parts of the places, and it can talk to many sources and get the data. Okay. Once they get the data, what they will do is they'll keep the data in a staging area. What do you mean by a staging area? Staging area, nothing but a temporary area where they'll keep the data for you. Okay. Staging area is a temporary area where you have to keep your data. Data will come from SSIS, and SSIS will dump the data into the staging area, where staging area will keep the data for a temporary purpose. And after the all the data is clubbed and merged in staging area, afterwards the data will be moved to a centralized place. Okay, so that's where you have a data warehouse system. The data will be moved. Okay, you have a data warehouse system, so you should be able to move your data to a centralized place. So this is simply known as a data warehouse system. What is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is nothing but a big godown where you store your data. So that's what you have to understand. So data warehouse is nothing but a warehouse. Warehouse means a big godown. So since you're keeping your data in that, so that warehouse is called as a data warehouse system. Okay. If you keep something else, and that is different warehouse, right? We have ice cream warehouse. We have rice, it will become a rice warehouse. Now we're talking about data. So we are collecting the data from different parts of the world and different places and different formats, and all the data initially get loaded to staging area. What is a staging area? A temporary space. For example, you're getting lots and lots of data. Before dumping into the storeroom, what you do, you collect the data, in somewhere outside the storeroom, you collect it. So what is that you do after collecting it? You may, merge. You may remove some kind of duplicates. You may do some kinds of, things in staging area. After everything is perfect, you load the data from staging area to data warehouse. So staging area could be a database system. This is also, but this is a temporary purpose. This is not a permanent purpose. You have to be very clear on this. Okay, this is temp space which you may use to store the data initially. Okay, so E stands for extract, T stands for transform, L stands for loading. So let us understand what is E, what is L, and what is S1. Okay, E stands for extract the data. T stands for transform the data. and L stands for loading the data. We have, this is the abbreviation for, ETL. You have a transformation, L for loading, and you have E for extracting the data. Once you extract the data, you should be able to transform the data. What do you mean by transformation? I told you already. Transformation we discussed. The data, initial data may not be available in single format. The data initially may be available. Say for example, I have gender column, I have male and I have female. So like that I have data. But in Delhi, I have for male I have M, for female I have F. In Mumbai, I have some Excel data. For male means I have a 0 and female means I have 1. So the data is available in different formats. This male, female or M, F or 0 or 1, all of them need to be standardized because I need to collect the data and I need to store and merge the data and keep it here. For data warehouse system needs, the data in single format could be I need to store data in M, comma F like this. So I need to convert male female data to M or F. So M and F there is no conversion needed here because already the data is available in M and F format. For 0 I have to convert to M, for 1 I have to convert to F. So I need to convert the data from one format to another format. That is known as a transformation. Transformation means converting data from one format to another format. So that is, so extract the data from source, then you have to transform the data. Then after transforming the data, you have to load the data into staging area. Staging area is optional to you. So sometimes SSIS straight away dump the data into data warehouse. Sometimes they may use staging area. For before loading into data warehouse, what they do is they dump the data into the a staging area. From staging area, they dump data to the data warehouse. So this is how the people should be able to understand how SSIS comes into an existence. So transform means converting data from one format to another is known as a transformation. Transfer means it is a changing the place from one place to another. That is a transfer. It is not a transfer, which is a transformation. Transformation means getting the data from different sources and converting data from different formats of the data you have to take, convert the data into required format. So I told you I have a full name, last I have a first name, middle name, last name, but data warehouse is storing a full name. So what is that I should do? You have to merge the data and store it. Or if I have full name, but the destination needs, the data warehouse needs, then a first name, last name, middle name, then you have to split the data. The full name, you have to split into first name, middle name, last name. So that's where you have a split. Split is a transformation. Merge is a transformation. So you may have some kind of, I need only first letter of the character. So whatever it is. So anything could be your requirement. You should be able to apply a transformations and you should be able to store the data from different parts and different environment data and different kinds of data that can be stored to a data warehouse. So as of now, what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse for you is a godown. Okay, already we understood. So if you ask me what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is nothing but a RDBMS system only. Please, you have to be very clear on this because in IT industry, if you want to store data, you have only one concept to store the data. What is that? RDBMS. So data warehouse is also RDBMS system only, just like SQL Server 2008, 2012, and Oracle 11G, Oracle 10G, Teradata, or Oracle. All these are best example for RDBMS tools. Okay. So data warehouse is also an RDBMS tool only. Okay. So, but why it is known as RDBMS? Because of the few configurations. So, because of that, the data warehouse, the RDBMS system is known as a data warehouse for you. Otherwise, for data warehouse, there is no separate software you require. Please, make a note of this. Please note this point. So you don't have separate software for the RDBMS to store your data in centrally. So RDBMS, to create a RDBMS, you install same SQL Server which you have installed in your desktop, same Oracle which you have installed in your desktop, or same DB2 which you have installed in your IBM mainframes, or same Teradata which you have used. Okay, so data warehouse does not have a separate software. Please note this point. So data warehouse needs a RDBMS system only, but that RDBMS system will be configured differently to store the data. Then that RDBMS is known as a data warehouse. So there are few differences you have to understand data warehouse. Clear? So data warehouse is also a separate DBMS system or RDBMS system. That's what you have to understand. Now, you may ask one more question. Sir, from many sources, and can I dump the data, or can I put the data into different destination? Need not be data warehouse always. Can I use SSIS? The answer is yes. Any source, any destination, you can use SQL Server integration services. So SSIS not only for the data warehouse, but also for any source data you can have, and you can dump or you can export the data to different destinations. The destination could be data warehouse. The destination also could be Oracle, or a pure another system. Could be Excel, could be Oracle, could be DB2, could be Notepad, could be Flatfile, could be any other system also. So SSIS is completely known as, you can talk to any source, you can use any destination. So any source, any destination, and you can use multiple sources, you can also use multiple destinations. If you want to export or import data, definitely we can go in for SSIS. SSIS is not a platform dependent tool, so which works for Oracle, which works for mainframe, which works for Windows, which works for Apple Macintosh. You need not worry about it. Clear? So that's what we have to understand. So SSIS is a simply known as import export tool. What is import export? Import data, export data, or copy pasting data. That's what, as a layman, you have to understand. It's very simple to understand. So SSIS is used to get the data from different parts of the world and from different environments. You take the data, you dump the data initially into staging area. This is optional. Staging sometimes may not be there, so straight away you dump the data into a data warehouse. Warehouse is a hub for you. Hub in the sense, it is a central place where you have all the data of your company. Now, wherever you're collecting the data, for example, all these places we are collecting the data, this is where we normally collect the data. Okay, all these places are known as OLTP systems for you. You have to be very clear on this. All these places for you known as the OLTP systems, and the data warehouse system is known as for you OLAP system. Okay, there are two kinds of systems which are available for you. One is OLTP, the other one is OLAP. So what do you mean by OLTP? OLTP means online transaction processing. Online transaction processing is known as OLTP system. So online transaction processing system is OLTP system. Then you have OLAP system. What is a OLAP system? Online based online analytical processing. Analytical processing system is known as a OLAP system. So OLAP system means is simply known as a data warehouse system for you. Okay. So what is the OLTP? OLTP always known as, to support the business, you have to use the OLTP. For example, you go to bank, you do some kind of a transactions there. You do the cash deposit, you do the cash withdrawal. So when you do some transaction initially for a business, that data will be captured in the OLTP systems. So could be, the data could be stored in Oracle, the data may be stored in SQL Server, the data may be stored in any other system. So the data straight away or right away comes from the end user. And and the business would run. So OLTP system is online transaction processing means, so you book a ticket, the immediately the one system will be there to capture the data. That system is known as a OLTP system. So which will support the business and which will using the system should be able to run the business. But after 1 year, what happens? You have booked, you went to railway reservation counter, you booked a ticket. So after 1 year, what is that you do? What is it you do? You don't need the data of last year. So that data you may be deleting or you may be keeping elsewhere. So the old data from OLTP will be pushed using SSIS, and using that you will be dumping into data warehouse. What is the purpose for it? Tomorrow you should be able to do the analysis on it. Okay, so OLTP means the straight away whatever data you are getting for the end user, that will be captured in a business, in a application, and the data will be there to run the business. But after 1 year or after a single quarter or after 6 months, what is that you do? Normally, don't nobody will ask. So how many times I have traveled in 2005 and 2006 from Bhubaneswar to Pune. So nobody would ask this kind of questions on the historical data. Even railway people need not, keep the data, but they don't delete the data. They will take the data from OLTP system. The data will be pushed to data warehouse. That means data warehouse data is completely historical data. You have to be very clear on it. So data warehouse never contains a read and write data. Always it is a read only data, historical data, because nobody will do the analysis on the current data or today's data. What is the sales today? Nobody will do. Everybody will compare last quarter and before quarter, or last month and before month, or last week and before week. So like that, always you take historical data and compare it. So nobody will take this hour data, this minute data, and this day data. So everybody will compare the old data. So data warehouse always contains, or OLAP contains always historical data or read-only data. So OLTP systems, for it will support the the business. Could be banking system is a OLTP system, or railway reservation system is a OLTP system, or any system where you're doing any transactions, that is a, simply known as a OLTP systems. But old data in a OLTP systems, what they do with the data? They take the data from OLTP, they dump the data into OLAP systems. Okay, that's where data warehouse comes into pictures. So the present data, the current data, the fresh data is part of OLTP. The old data, last 10 years data may be there in the data warehouse. That means I have 1 year data in OLTP. I have last 20 years data in data warehouse. So data warehouse is huge, very huge. You have to understand. And for data warehouse, no end user will come and ask, tell me last 10 years data. No, this is completely for the management people to use it. So data warehouse is completely for whom? The business people, the management people, the CEO, CFO, marketing people, they should be able to use OLAP systems. Clear? So OLTP always will be used by the end user. So they go to the office, they'll make lots of updates, deletes, all of them. So OLTP will run the business. OLTP will have redundant data. OLTP will be connected to the end users. OLTP will have less data and fresh data and current data. So these are the differences between OLTP and OLAP. OLAP is, storing historical data. OLAP will have huge data. OLAP will have read-only data. OLAP will have very less users, because data warehouse data is completely very few people will be using it. That is mainly the management. Okay. So OLAP is not meant for the end user. OLAP completely meant for the business management people, but OLTP completely meant for the end users. So you have many users in OLTP, very less number of users in OLAP. So these are the few things we have to understand to centralize the data. Okay, so let us understand what is a data warehouse and what is a. So let us come a point by a point. Okay, so we need to understand what is BA. Before understanding what is BA, let us understand the term business intelligence introduced by analyst Dr. Howard. Then to create BI systems, you need to definitely have a data warehouse. Okay. So you have Dr. William Inman is the father of data warehouse. Ralph Kimball is introduced a modeling called dimension modeling in 1990. And because of the dimension modeling, the data warehouse became so popular. And dimension modeling is the backbone of data warehouse. So slowly you're going to understand what is a dimension modeling and all. Okay? Now, has published dimension model. It is alternative to the Inman model. Because of dimension modeling, the Ralph Kimball became so popular than the Inman, even though the Inman is the father of data warehouse actually, not the Kimball. Please, be noted. William Inman is the father of data warehouse, but famous because of the dimension modeling which he introduced to data warehouse systems. He became so popular. You will get many books from Kimball and Inman, but many books from Kimball from on dimension modeling. Okay. So if people talk about data warehouse means a dimension modeling is the backbone of data warehouse. We'll also understand what is a dimension modeling. Okay. Now, Kimball published dimension model. It is alternative to the Inman model. Inman approach can be called top-down approach and Kimball's is bottom-up. So we're going to start slowly what is bottom-up, what is top-down. So don't worry about it. According to Inman, what do you mean by a data warehouse? Data warehouse means a subject-oriented customer, product, shipment, account. All these are different subject areas. Okay. And a data warehouse means a integrated data we have to have. What do you mean by subject oriented? For example, I have a cricket. In the cricket, I have one day matches data. I have 2020 matches data. I have, say, test matches data. I cannot dump all the data into single data warehouse and say, this is my data warehouse. That is wrong. So data warehouse always will be built or will be created for a single kind of data. That means I have 2020 data for one data warehouse. I have test match data for another data warehouse. I have one day match data in another data warehouse. So that means a data warehouse is a subject oriented. So you cannot dump all the data of a company or in a single data warehouse and say, so this is my data warehouse. That is completely wrong. Means a subject oriented. You have to be very clear on it. So customer data you have to be keeping separately. Product data you have to keep it separately. One day match data you have to keep separately. For test match data you have to keep it separately in different data warehouses. So data warehouse is not combination of all the data. That is wrong. So data warehouse is built using different subjects. I told you one day match data will be in one data warehouse, test match data will be there in one data warehouse, and you have 2020 match data will be there in separate data warehouse. That is known as a subject oriented means. So all the data need to be integrated. So you cannot have some data here, some data there. The data must be integrated and stored in a centralized place. That is the second point according to Dr. Inman. The third point would be the data which you have stored, that is completely read-only data, non-volatile. Volatile means can change. Non-volatile means cannot change. Okay. So whatever data you have stored in data warehouse, that cannot be modified, that cannot be updated, that cannot be rewritten. That's what what is the meaning of a non-volatile data. Time variant data. Tomorrow, if somebody is doing analysis, definitely they do the analysis on the time frame. In 2010, what is my profit? In 2011, what is my profit? In 2010 September, what is my profit? In 2010 September, what is my profit? So the analysis tomorrow they going to offer you, that is completely on the time variation. So time is the important factor to have in your data warehouse, because data warehouse is a hub where you centralize the data. So once you park the data into the hub, then the analysis starts. So which is a complete centralized godown where you store the data. So data warehouse means you have four things. You have a subject oriented data you will be having, and the data must be integrated. The third thing is the data cannot be modified once loaded. The fourth point is time variant data. So data warehouse means which is a subject oriented data, integrated data, non-volatile data, time variant data. This is the properties of a data warehouse. Now, in simple terms, what do you mean by a data warehouse? It is a centralized DB system which stores integrated, summarized historical data for analysis. So, which is a centralized hub. You cannot have bits and pieces of data in the data warehouse. We have the complete data coming from many sources. So, all the data will come and will get loaded onto a data warehouse. To take ICICI Bank data, now 2012 data they would have pushed in January itself. So what happens now? The data warehouse had 2011 data till last year, but now you have 2012 already over. The data from OLTP will be moved to 2012. They started doing the reports. Okay? So that's what you have to understand. Now we have to understand what is OLTP and OLAP. So please go through this point. So OLTP designed for transactions purpose or which supports the business. OLAP means online analytical processing designed for analysis and reporting purpose. Data modifications are frequent. Data modifications are not frequent. Has normalized tables, has denormalized tables. Indexes are not recommended because you will have lots of reads and lots of writes. If there is a writing, definitely indexes are not recommended. Indexes are recommended because there are lots of reading in this. Less data and current data maintains huge data and historical data. More users, less users, read and write data, read only data, current data, which is historical data. Like that. This is a very, very important question in interviews. What is difference between OLTP and OLAP? We have to be very clear on it. Okay. So once you get the data from different parts, contains a data, so which is a hub for you. So after the getting the data, what is that you should do? You should be able to do the analysis here. Okay, that's where you have SSAS comes into picture. So now you get the data from data warehouse, and the data will be given to SSAS. SSAS is used to creating what is known as a cube or creating a multi-dimensional analysis. Okay, the multi-dimensional analysis SSAS will do, which will create a cube for you. What is a cube? Which can store aggregated data. What do you mean by aggregated data? For example, let me come here. Let me come to our Excel sheet. Okay, I have data for Lux, I have data for Dow, but I have to aggregate the data for 2010. The 2010 data I have in bits and pieces, that data I have to aggregate and I should be able to store it. So for doing different aggregations in 2002, what is the sales for the Lux? In 2002 in Andhra Pradesh, what is the sales? In 2002 Andhra Pradesh, in say Vizag district, what is the sales? In 2002 month of October, and for Vizag district, what is the sale? That means you will ask different permutations and combinations for understanding the a product, the total. So all the combinations are created, or all the combinations are used, and already you will get different data. All the aggregations are performed and stored in this. Will do aggregations, because analysis means you have to aggregate then do the analysis. After that, simply dumping the data will not make any sense. You should be able to do the aggregations. So aggregation means a different kinds of aggregations. In 2010 in Jan for Lux, what is the sales? So in 2011 for last week of December, and what is this? That means we have a time parameter, we have a product parameter, we have a location parameter. Using that, you should be able to find out the profit. So SSAS will do the lots of aggregations for you, right? Example, I'll give you a very simple example. Daily the milk people will come and they'll give you milk, right? So 31st he'll come there and ask you, madam, can you give me the money? So what is that you do? When he asks money, you will take the book and you start calculating 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So you'll say 930 rupees I need to pay for this month. But during that calculation, will he wait? No, because time is the precious for him. He'll say, madam, I'll come tomorrow, I'll collect the money. So I have the data, but keeping the data is not very good. You have to do the aggregations and you need to keep the totals also. The total, using a total, you will pay or you will do something. Okay. So but your colleague, your father will ask how many times he came late last month, or how many times he did not give you a pure milk, or the milk quality is very, very bad. So if father is asking this kind of questions, again you have to go back to the data, then you started counting it. That means for each and every analysis, we have to do the aggregations. So father is asking, tell me how many times he came late. That is the question he asked. Then you're going back to data, you're counting it. So whenever he's coming late, you're putting a tick mark. 4, 5, 6, 7. Father, he came 7 times late. Clear? So that means keeping the data is not very, very important for understanding and take a decision. You have to aggregate the data. So that is what the SSAS will do for you. SSAS will aggregate the data which is there in the data warehouse, and that aggregated data you should be able to keep it in a report. So that's where we have the last one is called SSRS. The SSRS is completely meant for creating a report, and this report will be given to the end user. Get data from SSRS, the data will be given to the SSRS, and SSRS will be given to end users. So those end users will take the decisions. Okay. So this is the complete BA. BA means getting the data from different parts of the place and keep it in a data warehouse. And from the data warehouse, you create lots of cube. Cube means a multi-dimensional analysis structure where the data is aggregated and stored. Why it is stored? Tomorrow, if somebody needs any kind of information, they need not do the calculations. So SSAS will do the aggregations. So, and those aggregations will be write it in SSAS, and that will be showcased, or that will be neatly put in SSRS. SSRS may have a chart or the graph where you can neatly dump your data and display the data. So data warehouse is a subset of business intelligence. Business intelligence means SSIS, AS, RS. All of them are called intelligence, but data warehouse means only the centralized part. So data warehouse is only this, but after that you have to do the analysis, do the reporting, and these are called business intelligence. So data warehouse is a subset of business intelligence. Okay, so that's what we have to understand. So we understood from OLTP data moves to OLAP. From OLAP, what is that you have to do? You have to start analyzing the data. After analyzing the data, then you'll be getting the reports and all. Okay, so that is what you need to understand. Okay, first you have to understand OLTP system. After OLTP system, you need to understand OLAP system. Then after OLAP means we have nothing but a data warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse, or you may say OLAP, anything is okay. Then you have to learn what is OLTP, what is data warehouse, and after that you have to learn what is a BA for you. So this is the sequence for you to learn. So first you need to understand OLTP, or then you need to understand what is data warehouse or OLAP, then you need to understand what is business intelligence. For OLTP and OLAP, you initially, for storing data, either OLTP or OLT for storing data, you should be able to use a technology called RDBMS technology. OLTP or data warehouse system. For storing data, we have to use a technology called RDBMS system. Either the RDBMS can be OLTP or RDBMS can be data warehouse or OLAP system. So after that, you should be able to BA. So in the BA, we have three tools to learn: SSIS and SS, SSAS and SSRS. Okay. So SSIS means SQL Server Integration Services. Integration. SSRS means SQL Server Analysis Services. Okay, here server reporting services. Okay, you have three tools which you have to learn. Okay, SSAS will take approximately 2 weeks to learn, and SSAS approximately will take 2 weeks to learn. This is approximately will take 10 days to learn. So this is the tool, and you don't have any coding to practice. Very little coding. Anybody can easily, practice this. This is very simple tools to understand. Okay, but before understanding BA, we have to know data warehouse concepts. So we're going to discuss about data warehouse concepts. So before data warehouse, RDBMS concept, that is SQL PLSQL. SQL PLSQL will take 1 month to practice. We're going to cover this also if you're a fresher. But otherwise, already have learned, we can ignore RDBMS. Okay. But definitely RDBMS is very, very important for you to practice. So RDBMS means you have many RDBMS tools. We have SQL Server, Oracle. One of the RDBMS tools you have to know. Either you have to know SQL Server or Oracle or DB2. One tool you have to be very perfect. Since we are learning MSBA, we have to know SQL Server. So that is a tool we have to learn. So you will get 60% of the questions from RDBMS, 40% of the questions in interview, BA and data warehouse. Doing all your work, not only in BA, you have to also learn SQL Server very well. And that will take 1 month for you to practice. This RDBMS, here we use SQL Server as a tool for RDBMS. Okay. So SQL Server is completely RDBMS tool. You have to know perfectly. This will take 1 month to practice. Already you are aware of this, but since I am repeating, you have to know RDBMS or the SQL Server, that is. Then afterwards you have to move towards BA. Okay, these are independent tools. You can learn any tool anytime. There is no issue for you. Clear? So this is what we understood. So what is a BA? It is a process to develop a business by using intelligence usage of data. That means what? I have the data, but if I use the data as it is, that may not be very good for me. So I should be able to take my data, the data I have to convert into an information. Using that information, I should convert the information to, to my business to get the profits. Is known as a uh, business intelligence is a concept. Okay, so using that, you should be able to collect the data, do analysis, and take the decisions to improve your business. Is known as business intelligence. What are the goals of a business intelligence? Assess the health of the business, forecast revenues and profits. So how my business is doing today, whether it is good or bad, that is what it will give you. Then it will give you forecast revenues and profits, and future, how about my profits and all. Using that, you should be able to understand. Then you should be able to take quick decisions. So in competition world, as a management, if I'm not able to take quick decisions, other competitor will take my opportunities. Okay, you have to be very clear on it. Business forecast revenues and profits, quick decision making. These are the few goals of business intelligence. Why people have to use different tools. Okay. Now, BI tools, these are used to generate the reports, to perform multi-dimensional analysis, and to take some decisions. We have plenty tools in the market. We have SSIS and SSAS and SSRS from Microsoft side. We have business objects from IBM and Cognos, SAS, people will say, Hyperion, MicroStrategy, DataStrace, Crystal Reports. There are plenty tools available in the market. So For Microsoft has MSBA. MSBA has only three tools: SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. Clear? So have the many competitors for us, and Informatica. All of them are few tools for us. Okay. So this completes the introduction to MSBA. So you have learned what is a data warehouse, and you have learned and who created data warehouse, who is the father of data warehouse. You know what is RDBMS system, and what is a data warehouse, and what is SSAS in brief. SSRS, all of them. Okay. You collect the data, you dump into a central place that is known as a data warehouse. But keeping the data in central place will not give you any benefit. You have to analyzing the data. For analyzing the data, you have to aggregate the data. So SSAS will do the aggregations and depends upon your parameters. So once you do the aggregations, the data will be showcased. The information will be neatly presented. So for rendering, for presenting, you use SSRS tool. SSRS purely data rendering tool, data displaying tool, data presenting tool. So which will not do anything. So only from rendering it will do. Okay, which is very, very simple tool for you to practice. Clear? So SSIS, you have plenty other tools in the market. So what are the other tools you have? You have Informatica is tool that is the competitor for us. Okay. Then we have data stage ETL tools. Okay. Then you have Ab Initio. Ab Initio is also one more tool. All these are the competitors. All these are the ETL tools in the market. What do you mean by ETL tool? Which can extract the data, transform the data, load the data. That's what they can do. So all these are competitors for SSIS. So Informatica, data stage, Ab Initio, then you have lot of blah blah blah. Then for SSRS also we have many competitors. For SSRS we have competitors for SSRS. Let us understand. Cognos. Cognos is a reporting tool. Then you have business objects. Okay, is a reporting tool. Then we have SAS. It is not SSAS. SAS. It is a pharmaceutical reporting tool. SAS tool. People will say. I'm learning SAS. SAS is completely for the pharmaceutical industry. This is a pure reporting tool. Okay. We have Cognos. We have BO. We have SSAS. Okay, all these are reporting tools. Then you have crystal reports. Okay, crystal reports. All these are few examples for reports. Okay, and for SSAS we have Hyperion. Hyperion is a competitor for us. Like that, we have there are 20 tools. Hyperion is purely analysis tools. Okay, from IBM. And like that, we have different tools are available in the market. For reporting, we have different tools. For ETL, we have different tools. For analysis, we have different tools. Okay. So if you learn only Informatica, you are learning only ETL. If you learn SS Cognos, you are learning only reporting. But here we have plenty tools available. So if you learn MSBA, means you are learning ETL, you are learning reporting, you are learning analysis. That is the advantage if you go for the MSBA. So MSBA is completely looking for medium and small scale industries. So you have plenty opportunities in the worldwide. Okay. Apart from that, also we have SAP BA, SAP BA. Then we have Oracle BA, Oracle BIW. This is Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. Then we have MSBA. Okay, these are the giants are the competitors in market. So SAP BA, Oracle BA for big enterprise, and MSBA is also doing very good things. And MSBA is more towards small and medium scale industries, and no code to write. In MSBA, you will not have any code which you have to write it. So only drag and drop tools are available, but at least 10-20% of the code you have to write it. So anybody can learn easily. And It's very, very important. No coding in MSBA. You have to. And if you know .NET, the well and good. If you don't know .NET, also well and good. There is no issue. But you have to know RDBMS very clearly. The prerequisite is you have to learn RDBMS concept, then you have to learn data warehouse concept, then you have to learn, BI concepts. So able to learn. Okay. This is the growth you have to have. RDBMS you have to be perfect, then data warehouse you have to be perfect, then you have to have BI. Okay. RDBMS will take 1 month to learn, and this together will take 5 months to learn. So this is the total agenda for you to understand in simple manner. Clear? Any questions you can ask me, otherwise we are okay. This is a data warehouse concept by us. Okay. Any questions to be asked?
No, Bhakti.
Yeah.
So data warehouse contains the non-volatile data, but
Yes.
later if we found any mistakes or any wrong, so where can we modify that?
Data warehouses is see, normally what happens is historical data you should be, you're taking for last year transaction you would be taking, and you would be dumping into a data warehouse. Nobody will go to last year your flight tickets, and nobody will modify your flight tickets. Already the data has gone. You need any modifications in data warehouse also, you can do that, but the modifications are very, very less. Can't we modify the data in the data warehouse? The answer is yes, but 90% of the time people would not modify, only 10%. So the writing is very, very low. So people will say it is purely read only. But can I do writing? Definitely you have to do writing. Okay, the writing is possible in data warehouse. If there is no writing, how do you insert the data into data warehouse? That will be there. But after inserting the data, the modifications are very, very less. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, you can modify that.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
anything
you.
else? Yeah, please, Uday, can you tell me your doubts? Yeah. So you have OLTP, you have to understand. So initially, wherever you store your data, that is OLTP. That's where the people would started giving the data for the business. Give me some examples for OLTP systems. Anything, wherever the users are going and doing some transactions. Could be passport, you're applying for a passport, that is OLTP data. Banking system, OLTP data. Railway reservation system, OLTP data. All this data is purely a OLTP data only. So Uday, you can ask your question. Any other question, Manjunath? Okay. So good. So is it good? So we'll meet tomorrow if you don't have any questions. Okay. Thanks, guys. Okay. Tomorrow we'll meet and we'll take some more.